Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. This is my first video and I am recording this on my phone, so firstly I'd just like to apologise for my awkwardness in front of the camera and for the quality of this video, but hopefully I'll learn over time if you guys have a bit of patience with me. But my name is Alexis, I'm an F1 fan, as you can probably tell from the little display I have behind me. I am primarily a Lando fan, as again you can probably tell from the big photo I have of him. So obviously I'm very happy that he won the WDC last year. I think he definitely deserved it. There's a lot of discourse around the internet about that. I don't really want to get into that. I think Max was the better driver this season. I won't argue with that. But the whole point of F1 is to build the fastest car, and then the driver who drives the fastest car with the least amount of issues or mistakes wins the WDC. That's how the sport works, and that's how Lando won. And it shouldn't have come down to a last race title fight if McLaren actually sorted through their issues a bit sooner, because obviously the DNF in Zandvoort was a mechanical issue, not his fault, lost him 18 points, and also the mess up in strategy in Qatar when he could have won. I don't think he would have won even if they had got the strategy right, but he could have. And I think the messing up the strategy definitely messed up his confidence. Obviously the DNF in Canada, his fault, but everybody makes mistakes when they are fighting with their teammate for a WDC, so I don't think there's anything we can put on him or anyone else. So, seeing as the 2026 season is very close, pre-season testing is just around the corner. Well, currently, the day I'm filming it, this is currently the 4th day of pre-season testing in Barcelona, the private testing. I've been getting little snippets of information from people on threads and stuff, but obviously we're not getting much. But I thought I would share my 2026 season predictions before pre-season testing. So I'm not basing this off anything I've seen. Well, kind of, but not really, because obviously we haven't seen much. We're just going off rumours. So this is what I think, just based off purely vibes, really. And what I'm going to do with these predictions is I'm going to put them in an envelope, and this is my first year doing a F1 bullet journal, which is quite exciting. Let me try to find the page. I'm going to put them in an envelope, and this is a 2026 predictions page, and I'm going to put the envelope in here and not open it until the end of the season. So I'll hopefully forget what I predicted, so at the end of the season, in December, I can make a video going through my predictions, whether they were really right, whether they were really wrong, maybe give myself points for it. But seeing as I'm not really competing against anyone else, maybe I can just see each season whether I get more or less points than the season before. Maybe that could be fun. But if you guys want a flip through of my F1 journal, it's not exactly finished yet, but I'm getting there slowly. I've been watching old race reruns while doing it, so sometimes something interesting happens in a race and my attention is captivated by that. But I am getting there slowly. If you guys want to flip through, I can totally do that as a next video. Most of it is just Pinterest inspiration anyway, so I will tell you when it's Pinterest inspiration. But yes, if you guys want a flip through, I can totally do that. But here are my F1 predictions. Please be nice in the comments. This is just what I think based off literally no knowledge, because we don't really have any knowledge of what this season is going to look like, especially with the regulation changes. This is just from off vibes, rumours and previous years, what I think will happen. I'm not trying to be rude to any drivers, and I will try to justify as I go along, but I might not have justification for some of them. It might just be how I feel, and I think that's fine. So, going straight in with the WDC, I think it's going to be George Russell. Obviously, I think a lot of people are backing George Russell this year. We've heard that Mercedes have found that loophole. Also, Red Bull have, but I just think Mercedes, I think it's their year. I don't know why, it's just kind of a feeling. Obviously, with private tests in Barcelona, Mercedes have been going fastest so far. I don't want to take too much out of that, because everyone's don't rely on pre-season tests and everything could change. But I think if Mercedes are fast enough this year, it will be George Russell's year. I think he was so consistent last season. Like, he was literally the unsung hero of last season. He was amazing, and I just think he's ready to deal with the pressure, and I think it is his time. Like, he's not afraid to go up against Max or literally anybody on the grid. And of course, if Mercedes is there, I do expect Kimi to get his first win. But I just think there are still a few rookie mistakes that Kimi will make this season, and I just think George will have a bit of an edge on him just because of his seniority. But maybe if Mercedes continue their domination into like the next couple of years, Kimi will have a chance. But I just think this year it's George's year. Following on with that, the Constructors' Championship, I said Mercedes, because if George wins, I think Kimi will be close enough behind to score them for constructors. I don't think it will be like a Red Bull kind of situation where like Max wins, like in 2024 when Max won the WDC but McLaren won the WCC because Sergio Perez was like far behind. I don't think it will be like that. I think Mercedes will get it if George Russell wins the WDC. Most wins I've gone safe for George Russell, but most poles I've actually gone for Charles Leclerc. I think George is a very good qualifier. I think that's just me manifesting for Ferrari to have some kind of pace. I want Charles to really be in there with the title fight. I would love to see Charles win in a Ferrari, just because of all of the rumours about Mercedes being the fastest. I have backed Mercedes, but it would actually be so good to see Charles win in a Ferrari. But I think if he's not in the title fight this year, I think it is his time to move on, which is really sad because I know how much he wants to win in the Ferrari specifically. But I think his want to win overall is more. But I don't see where he would move. Like, all of the top teams are kind of locked in. Like, I can't really imagine him going to Red Bull. Like, Mercedes seem quite happy with George and Kimi. McLaren are obviously happy with Lando and Oscar. Like, I don't really see where he goes unless another team like shows a lot of potential this year. Like, maybe Aston Martin, if they manage to make a good car this year. Maybe they finally get rid of Lance Stroll, but maybe not. Probably not. That's just my wishing. I don't hate Lance Stroll, guys. I like him as a person. I think he's really sweet, but as a driver, I just don't think he has that motivation anymore. And I think that comes from it not really being his choice to come into the sport. Like, it's a hard sport and it takes a lot of energy out of you. So you need to be the one that makes a choice to go into that sport and enter Formula One. And I think because it was his dad's choice, he just doesn't have the motivation that the other drivers have. So sometimes he doesn't get the most out of his car, and that's why people call him a bad driver. And yeah, sometimes he has crashes which are 100% his fault. So it's an interesting one with Lance Stroll, but we'll see what his future is. Maybe if they make a good car this year, he will start stepping up, show that motivation again, but we'll see. So I've also said, so I have the same answer for this. So I've said first podium and surprise driver of the year. I've said Ollie Behrman. He obviously got fourth in Mexico. He had a lot of rookie mistakes last season, but he showed his strengths at the end of the season. He showed why he's been brought up to Formula One and what he might be able to do in the future. He was definitely outperforming his cars. He outperformed Ocon, who is a very like senior driver. So I think he'll do really good. I said podium because I don't know where the Haas will be, but if the Haas is good, he could totally get a win. But I just didn't want to jinx him. So I said podium. I would love to see it. Ollie is my second favourite driver, and that might be a bit of favouritism, but I also think everyone can agree that he is a very good driver. I've actually met him. I got a cap signed by him, which I won't get down now, but I can show you in another video if anybody's interested. I can do like an F1 merch video because I have a bit too much, but it's okay. Okay, surprise winner. I said, like, because obviously I feel like I feel like Lewis Hamilton in a Ferrari would kind of be a surprise winner, but I also kind of counted out like the top four teams. So I said surprise winner Fernando Alonso. If Aston Martin is good this year, he will definitely win a race. And I would love to see him win a race. I've never watched a race where he's won. Um, but I've seen like videos of like his like emotes and celebrations, and he just seems so iconic. So I would love to watch him win a race. I think everybody would be so happy with him. I don't think I've met anyone who hates Fernando Alonso. Like, I just don't think it's possible. Unless maybe Liam Lawson fans, because they have a bit of beef going on. Okay, so I also went with the same driver for these two categories, and I do have reasoning, but I said biggest flop and most DNFs. I put Arvid Lindblad, just because I think he's a good driver. I think he's shown that he's a good driver, but I think he's been brought up from F2 way too quickly. And I know a lot of people were saying this about like some of the other rookies like Kimi Antonelli, Isaac Hadjar last season, and they performed pretty well. I would love for him to prove me wrong, but I just think he's been brought up too quickly. It's no fault of his own. And like even if he is considered the biggest flop or like has the most DNFs, I think he still will improve throughout the season. I don't think it will be like a one and done for him, or it might be. I'm betting that he'll make it through the season, but he will be the biggest flop. I'm not sure if he'll have a drive for next season, but we'll just have to see. I would love for him to prove me wrong on that one. Okay, and then best race, I said Silverstone. That is a bit of favouritism playing in there, but I do think Silverstone is a great race every year with the rain and just everything about Silverstone is so historic. I am going this year. I went to qualifying last year, so the Saturday, and I'm going all 4 days this year, Thursday to Sunday. I'm sitting in the Lando stand with my sister. And yeah, it's exciting that it's a sprint weekend this year, because that means there's like so much more racing that we get to watch. I just think it's going to be a really good race. And like, imagine Lewis Hamilton winning like one of the Silverstone races, even if it's just a sprint in a Ferrari. Like, I think people would go crazy. So I would love to see that. I would love for like Lewis to win one of the races and Lando to win one of the races. I know Lando won it last year, but I didn't watch it live, so that's just me kind of manifesting it. And then I said worst race, Monaco. I love Monaco. I think I love Monaco because Charles loves Monaco. And like obviously Monaco, excuse me, Monaco 2024, amazing race, but only because Charles won it. Like overall, it was a boring race. Like if anyone other than Charles had won it, nobody would ever think about that race. You know, I just think, I just think, I don't know what they can do. Like honestly, George has given them so many ideas, but they are all kind of outlandish. I don't know what they can do at this point, but I get how historic it is and I love it for that. But it's just such a boring race to watch. And I don't know how they can fix it. I don't know. But yes, I have gone for that being the worst race. But there are some other tracks which are getting a bit boring on the grid, like Qatar. If we hadn't had really bad strategy called by McLaren, Qatar would have been a really boring race. Like that's the only thing that made it exciting. And also, I don't love Abu Dhabi as a season finale. I don't mind it as a track. I quite like it as a track, but just as a season finale, it never really gives us much, unless obviously, like 2024, it gave us something because of the McLaren Ferrari battle, and obviously 2025 freeway title battle. But if you think of it, if it didn't have those stakes, it would be a boring race. I think we should go back to Brazil being the last race, but I know it's all about money and sponsors and blah blah blah. But yes, that's what I think. So overtake of the year, I've gone Charles Leclerc, Max Verstappen, but I haven't specified who on who. But because I've been watching the 2022 season on the winter break, and just seeing them like when they were actually together, like in the first couple of races of the season. I think it was the first race of the season, they like kept like switching back positions, and it was beautiful racing. And I just don't think I've seen racing that good in like in a while. I think definitely those two together is actually magic. They just like dance on track. It's crazy, but I would love to see them together on track and to get an like crazy overtake, which is then like Charles overtakes, but then Max overtakes in the next corner, then Charles tries to take it back, that kind of thing. Like, I want to see a crazy overtake between those two. So that is also kind of manifest and not really a prediction. Okay, then for full stand-ins, and I won't really explain myself too much here. I think I'll explain the top. I'll explain some random ones and other ones I'll just say, because I feel like with full stand-ins it's really hard to get them right, really hard to try to figure out where like people go, especially in the lower half of the grid. I feel like I've really thought about the first half of the grid, and then the lower half of the grid I kind of panicked. So this is what you're guessing. So first, obviously, George Russell's what I predicted earlier. Second, I said Charles Leclerc, just because I really want him to be in the title fight. Third, I said Lando Norris, because I still think McLaren are going to be good this year. They did like stop improving that car around halfway through the season for this season, so I don't think they're going to be a midfield team like some people are saying. They're still going to be good because they have the most money. And Lando, now that he's got the like confidence of being a WDC and doesn't have that pressure on him anymore, I think he will show the skills of a reigning champion. Four, I said Oscar Piastri, because wherever Lando's going to be, Oscar's going to be close behind or close in front. They're just always going to be close to each other. I think they match each other so well, kind of skill set wise. I think they're just amazing teammates as well for battle. We didn't really get much of a battle between them like on track last year. And when we did, it did kind of go a bit wrong. Like Canada event, I don't remember what race it was, but when Oscar was trying to overtake Lando and he kind of locked up into the corner. And then was it Singapore, the first lap where Lando like touched wheels with Oscar? I don't know, there were a couple of instances where we were like, okay guys, please back away. But I think, yes, they kind of come as a package deal in the championship standings. They are so close in ability now. I just think it's either Lando will have the edge because of the confidence of being a WDC, or Oscar will have the edge because he's angry. Like, he uses that anger of not being WDC. But we'll see how it works out. Then fifth, I said Max Verstappen, just because I'm not expecting the Red Bull car to be very good this year. But even if it's not good, Max is always going to be up there. Fifth might be a bit too low for him, but that's just what I've said. And then sixth, I said Kimi Antonelli. I know that is quite a big gap between him and George. Like, George is first, Kimi is sixth. But I'm not expecting there to be a massive points gap. I know at the start of regulations there's one team that gets it right and they kind of like fly away from the rest, but I just like I'm delusionally hoping that like the top 6 or 7 drivers are going to be really close in points. So that's kind of why I've put Kimi in 6th, because I think he will still make some rookie mistakes, and more senior drivers like Charles, Lando, Oscar, Max will be able to like jump him in the standings even if Mercedes are a faster car. And 7th, I've said Lewis Hamilton. Obviously, his teammate is in 2nd. I just don't see Lewis getting to grips with a Ferrari, and that's really sad. But I just don't see it. With the amount of struggles he had last season, I'm glad he has a new race engineer for this season, because Ricky is definitely interesting. Yeah, that's all I have to say on that. So 8th I've put Fernando Alonso, 9th I've put Isaac Hadjar, 10th I've put Alex Albon, 11th I've put Carlos Sainz. People might not like that, but I've put Alex above Carlos Sainz, but I just think Alex has been with Williams for so long, and I think if the car is good, he will have I just think he'll really want to prove himself this year. I would love to see at least an Alex podium with Williams, if not a win. I would love to see that. I thought Williams were going to be really good this year, because they kind of said they were putting all of their eggs in the basket for this season, and now we're hearing that their car is overweight, so that is a bit worrying. I hope they can sort that out, because I love the Williams team. Like, James Vowles, Alex Albon, Carlos Sainz. Like, I don't think there is a better like team thing. Like, I love Lando and Oscar as teammates, but I'm not sure I really like McLaren as a team. You know, like Zach Brown, just don't talk to me about Zach Brown. Then 12th I've put Ollie Behrman, 13th I've put Nico Hulkenberg, 14th I've put Liam Lawson, 15th I've put Gabriel Bortoleto, 16th I've put Esteban Ocon, 17th I've put Valtteri Bottas. I don't expect the Cadillac car to be good this season, just because they're going to need some like a couple of years to just get up there, find their footing as a new Formula One team. But I think Valtteri Bottas is an amazing driver, and I think he will be there or thereabouts some of the time, get some points kind of thing. 18th I put Lance Stroll, 19th I put Pierre Gasly. I don't know why I thought when doing these predictions that the Alpine were going to be a bad car, but I've predicted that the Alpine are going to be a bad car, even though a lot of people are saying it's going to be a good car this season. So we'll see if I'm right or wrong. That could be really wrong. He could be like 8th in the standings, but in my standings, he's 19th. 20th, I've put Sergio Perez, again, just because I don't think Cadillac will be a very good car. 21, I've put Arvid Lindblad. As I've said before, I just don't think he's ready to come up yet. And 22nd, I've put Franco Colapinto. I know he did improve at the back end of last season, but the amount of crashes he has, it kind of like, it's not that great. I don't really have much justification for that. And then for team standings, it was a bit easier. I said Mercedes, McLaren, Ferrari, Red Bull, Williams, Racing Bulls, Aston Martin, Haas, Audi, Alpine, Cadillac. I think that's how it works. I think that is more solid than my driver lineup, but we'll see. And then I did do a little section of 10 predictions for what Drive to Survive is going to show. So this is for the season that will be based off the 2025 season. So this will be for the season that comes out start of March, does it? Or end of February, I don't remember. But I've said, number one, they're going to make a really big deal about the McLaren rivalry drama. That's quite an easy prediction to put because of course they are. Number two, I think they're going to make a big deal about Lando's mental health and be like, is he ready for the pressure of like fighting for a WDC? And they're probably going to put like Helmut Marko's comment in there of like him being too weak to win a WDC kind of thing. I think they're just going to make a big deal about that, which is kind of stupid. But then number three, I think they're going to include a stupid quote from Flavio Briatore, which isn't that hard because if they give him any screen time at all, there will be a stupid quote because just everything that comes out of his mouth is stupid nowadays. For Cadillac, they must make a big deal about an 11th team joining the grid, or maybe they make a big deal about that for the next Drive to Survive season, but I think they'll put it in this season. 5, they must say something about the doing Colapinto switch because that is quite a big deal. That will probably come in the same episode as a stupid quote from Flavio Briatore, but we'll see. 6, I want them to do something on Williams because Williams was amazing this season. I think they will mainly focus on Carlos Sainz with Williams and they won't give much screen time to Alex Albon. Or maybe they'll do some stupid thing about like trying to spin it to make it look like Alex was jealous about Carlos's podiums because that is something stupid that Netflix would do, but we'll see. And then 7, this is kind of just like a personal wish. I want them to mention Ollie Behrman's drive in Mexico because getting 4th is amazing. But I don't think they will, but I think it would be really cute if they did. And then 8th, I expect them to have a whole episode on the rookies, kind of like who was rookie of the year, like their crashes, like their rookie mistakes, blah, blah, blah. 9th, I think they're going to make a big deal about the Verstappen and Kimi crash. That might be in the same episode as they do with the rookies, like maybe they talk about how like everyone expects Kimi to be really good and then it just like cuts to him crashing with Max Verstappen. Or maybe Charles Leclerc. Maybe they'll just like show all his crashes with Max and Charles. Did he crash out with anyone else? I don't really remember. He crashed with Charles twice, didn't he? And one of them Oscar got a penalty for, but people were saying it was kind of Kimi's fault because he didn't leave Oscar enough space. But Charles just like got the brunt force of both of them, so bless him. And then 10, obviously they're going to make a big deal about Verstappen charging for the championship, losing out on the championship by 2 points, because that is crazy and not what we would have predicted halfway through the season. So yes, those are my predictions for the 2026 season. I'm hoping they're right. I'm hoping I've got like kind of the gist of it. You guys tell me how you think I did in the comments, but I think I've done all right. We'll obviously see. None of us know what this season are going to look like with the new regulations. I haven't personally got my head around the regulations yet, just because I haven't really started doing my research on it. I'll start doing that next month, ready for Australia. Waking up really early for Australia, obviously, but I'm very excited for F1 to be back. I won't be home to watch the first 3 days of pre-season testing that are televised to us, but I will be home for the last 3 days. So I'll just try to keep on track with that, maybe like talk to you guys after pre-season testing, see where we stand, maybe go through the predictions again and see if I've totally messed up on them. And then after pre-season testing, we'll put the predictions away and won't look at them till the end of the season. But yes, I'm just hoping from this season, I'm just hoping for multiple race winners, because it's so boring when it's not. Close fights, a bit of drama, but like not like drama. Some home wins. I really love watching home wins. Like, I don't care what driver it is, any driver that gets a home win is so sweet. I just want good racing from this season. That's all I want. I think that's all any F1 fan wants, just good racing. Obviously, we all support one driver. There are some neutral fans, but most people support a driver, a team, a couple of drivers. But I think at the end of the day, all we want is to watch good racing. So it's my F1 rule. Looking forward to the new season, and I will see you guys around in my next video, hopefully. So please like and subscribe if you liked this video, and